What is going on, summoners? The time has finally arrived. I'm Joe. Welcome to Total Justice Gaming. Today we will be rounding up and reviewing all the white cards that will be coming out in Donna History Battle Spirit Saga Set 1. We will be covering Spirits, then Nexuses, then Magic. We will be going in order of Common to X-Rare. I will be giving thoughts as we go along. We're going to try and burn through as much as we can possible. Keep this video short. Make sure you guys have some fun with it. As always, please like the video, leave comments, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. I will be putting out videos when I can. As always, I really am looking forward to this. I cannot wait to make a Machine Beast or a Mecha deck. This looks to be probably one of the most fun games and probably one of the best early game sets I've seen in quite a while in my TCG career. So let's dive right on into it. First off, we have Automatic Gunner. It is a 1 difficulty, 1 reduction. At level 1, it's a 100, or excuse me, a 1000 for 1 core, and at level 2 for 3 cores, we're at 4K. I like this unit because it's basically a free unit. All we got to do is set a Nexus. We get our reduction. We get this for free. If anything's going to be spammed to make us get our cores out, to get cards out, that way we can get our reduction engine going, it's going to be Automatic Gunner. Being able to just immediately play out spam super easily is good. I really don't even want to play it at the level 2. I just want to play it at the level 1. That way I can keep going, and only costing 1 core for everything is flat out amazing. Next up, we have Satellite Falcon. 2 difficulty, but another reduction cost of 2, meaning this is also a free card. This one's just a little bit harder to set up than Machine Gunner, because you got to have 2 cards with white symbols out to make this card free. So I don't know how much I would actually put this in a deck. At level 1 for 1 core, it's 2K. At level 2 for 3 cores, it's 4K. At level 3 for 4 cores, it's 5K. Since this is a spam unit, I really don't want to spend a lot of cores on this, even though we do have some decent blocking mechanic here, blocking power at level 3, but that's 4 cores we got to commit to it, so I'm not entirely sold on this card. Moving on forward, we have Head Ice Maiden Full Up. She is 3 difficulty with 2 reduction cost. At level 1, for 1 core, she's a 2K. At level 2, for 2 cores, she's a 3K. And at level 3, again, for 4 cores, she's a 5K. She also has an ability on her level 1, 2, and 3 that says your opponent cannot remove cores from this spirit or any spirit with a soul core. This could be okay. I really don't know how to feel about this. This is something that we don't get to spam out for free. Even if we do fulfill the reduction cost, we're only going to be playing this at a 1. Then we have to commit additional cores for its powers. Its effect, though, can help against certain decks. This might be a sideboard card. I'm not entirely sure yet. Once I get the hang of tabletop, I'll be able to play test and have come back with a much more experienced thought on this. But right now, maybe a sideboard card, just because it prevents cards from getting their cores removed if they have a soul core on it. Next up, we have Heavy Tank Curiosity. This is a 3 difficulty, 2 reduction. It's a mecha. At level 1, it has a 2K for 1 core. At level 2, it's a 4K for 2 cores. It has a level 2 skill of during either attack step, when your mecha spirits would be destroyed by your opponent's destruction effects, they remain on the field exhausted instead. So all this really does for us is you just let it sit there. You don't let it be a target, because they have to waste spells to target unexhausted characters. So we leave this standing. If your mecha spirit would be destroyed, all their destruction effects don't trigger. Instead, they just tap a unit, meaning they got to tap a unit. They waste cores to play a spell or play an ability. Then they waste an attacker just to get this out of here. This one's a bit better. I definitely dig it. I think this may be a staple, or maybe a 1 or a 2 of in any mecha deck right now, just because of its level 2 skill. For 3 cores total, if we meet full reduction costs and everything, 3 cores is not that bad of a commitment to be able to make sure, hey, You can't touch my you. All your destruction spells just exhaust me. That's pretty decent. We have Bullet Ray Fish, 2 difficulty, 1 reduction. At level 1, it's a 3k for 1 core. At level 2, it's a 5k for 2 core. Not that great. Uh, doesn't really do anything. It's not even a mecha or a mecha beast. It's just a flat out flying fish. Um, it still sits at a 1, so you got to commit at least 2 cores to it to even get to be a 3k. I don't really dig it. Maybe there will be flying fish later on that will make this better, or this will be splashable later on down the road with blue, since blue is more of an aquatic theme. But just out the gate, this is not a great card. Type 90 Tank Mobile. This is a mecha card, 5 difficulty, 2 reduction cost. At level 1, it's a 4k for 1 core. At level 2, it's a 6k for 3 core. Its level 1 skill is it gives us armor against red and white. This means we can't be hit by spirits, nexuses, or magic from those colors. And at level 2, we upgrade and gain additional colors, so we're armored against red, purple, and white. This is a great harasser, a great blocker. They can't mess with us in any way, shape, or form. A little bit on the expensive side because this is after reduction. We're still at 3, so we got to commit 6 cores to gain max value on this card. There are better, easier ways to get cores if you're playing a mecha type deck. We'll discuss later on down the road. I can dig it. I can see this as a 1 or 2 of, possibly even a sideboard card, because this does give protection against purple if you're level 2, but at level 1, still a decent card because it gives us protection against red and white. Up next, Stream Otter. 3 difficulty, 1 reduction cost. At level 1, it's a 1k for 1 core. At level 2, it's a 3k for 2 cores. Its level 2 skill is one this blocks. It gains 4,000 BP. This is a staple. This is a staple, in my opinion, because we only have for 4 cores, because it reduces down to 2 difficulty because of its reduction cost. And its level 2 skill only costs 2 cores to get it active. We gain the ability to become a 7k blocker, which can hit a lot of level 2s and a lot of level 3 spirits, and we can still survive. Plus, white has a lot of abilities to boost BP, so we could be sitting at a 8k, 9k, 10k Stream Otter that just blocks to anything and everything coming its way and killing it in battle power comparison. This is a staple in my opinion. Like, this otter is not to be trifled with. Moving on, we got Cannon Beast Mech Lyo Mail, 4 difficulty, 2 reduction cost. At level 1, it's a 3k for 1 core. At level 2, it's a 5k for 3 cores. It has a level 1 and level 2 skill where it just flat out has armor against purple. Very good. Bit situational, but still good. And at level 2, when this spirit blocks, select one of your opponent's spirits that cost 2 or less and return it to the top of their deck. So I want to say this may also be a sideboard card because Machine Beast can still keep going. We have decent support for it. The second skill is probably more abusable than the top skill. The reason why I say this may be a sideboard card because this does armor only against purple, meaning we still have 3 other colors to worry about. So should you face a purple deck, you can sideboard this in over another 4 cost and continue to smash face with it or block with it. And purple just has to sit there and manually take you out during your attacks. But since this is something you want to just sit there and block with every time and continue to control their board, again, I think this is a good sideboard card. Raccoon Guard. Raccoon Guard is 3 difficulty, 2 reduction cost. Level 1's a 3k for 1 core, and at level 2, 5k for 2 cores. It's fine. We have better spam in Machine Beast, I feel, already. And we just have better spam units, period. Since it's a generic unit, it doesn't offer us too much outside of, hey, we can play this and gain another white symbol to help with reduction cost, but we already have covered some better units at cheaper cost and some better battle power. Being level 2 and only committing 4 cores to get a 5k unit out is pretty decent, but I think there's better things. We have Emperador. This is 4 difficulty, 3 reduction cost. Machine Beast at level 1, it's a 4k for 1 core, level 2, 7k for 3 cores, and at level 3, 9k for 6 cores. I'm kind of split on this because we can put this out for 1. So for 2, we get a decent power. So for 4 cores, we get a 7k blocker, which can be decent. I don't want to commit more than that and hit that 9k power level and commit 6 cores to this thing because that's quite a bit of jump in resources to put on this unit. Especially a generic unit which has no protection or no armor or any other effect to it. So this would be okay. I could definitely see myself committing at least 4 cores to have a 7k blocker. We do have Nexuses that bump this up to maybe a 9k, 8k, or 9k blocker for 4 cores is not a bad thing. So I see its value, but at the same time, I don't see myself using this higher than level 2. So it's decent. Next up, Iron Maiden Mark II. This is an android, which is interesting. It's not a mecha. This is an android. 3 difficulty, 1 reduction cost. At level 1, we're at 2k for 1 core. At level 2, we're at 4k for 2 cores. This only has a level 2 armor ability of purple and yellow. This is definitely a sideboard card. I believe right now, this is our only card with yellow protection, unless I'm forgetting something. But against yellow decks, this may be a godsend. Purple decks too. This will allow us to maintain board presence because that way purple can't siphon off cores from this unit. Against yellow, they can't reduce your battle power and get battle power depletion kill. So this is the very definition of a sideboard card. Fantastic unit. Maybe not the main deck. You definitely got to see what color you're going against. Then in match 2, sideboard in the sucker in, and you're good to go. Moving on up, still in commons, we're at 5 difficulty, 2 reduction costs. We're looking at King Harold. At level 1, he's a 4k for 1 core. At level 2, he's 6k for 2 cores. At level 1 and level 2, during your opponent's attack step, refresh the spirit when one of your spirits with armor blocks. So, we can play this. We can do okay. This is not a bad unit. If we fulfill reduction, this is a 3 difficulty, meaning we're putting 5 cores on this guy to be a 6k blocker that can refresh to block a second time, so long as another character during the opponent's attack step swings and would block with a unit with armor. This is very dependent on if an armor build, which is very viable in this set. Good amount of our white units do have armor. Being able to refresh a blocker is fantastic, especially in white. I wish, and he continues to be able to block. It does not state once per turn, so the more we can block with him, block with an armor, restand him, block again, block with another with armor, restand him. He keeps being able to restand himself to defend. Again, with Nexuses and magic that let us bump power. We can have pretty decent block strings going on with this dude. So he's decent. I dig him. He just focuses around a certain build. And again, he's Android, not Mecha. So I don't know how to feel about that because he can't be targeted by certain Nexuses that look specifically for Mecha, which is what I really want to play. So he's decent. Definitely repeated blockers are always good in this game. It's just you got to pay attention to what Nexuses you're playing and what magics you're playing on Herald. Common, Armor Beast Gillian Bursty, 6 difficulty, 4 reduction cost. At level 1, he's 6k for 1 core. Level 2, he's 9k for 3 cores. Again, we're playing, if we fulfill our reduction cost, which he's a giant beast, not a machine beast. So unfortunately, we can't use Newman City to help reduce him because I believe that looks for a machine beast and he's a giant beast. Still having if we hit reduction pretty easily with him, we're looking at 2 difficulty, meaning if we put 5 cores down on this dude, if we spend 5 cores, we do get a 9k attacker / blocker. This is decent. This hits above numbers. Maintaining board presence may be an issue a little bit, but it's our goal as white players to maintain a very strong board presence. Using other skills, and we could probably blend this dude into a deck. That way we can hit that number, really get that reduction number really easily. But just on its own, committing, we're going to have a combination of 2 units, 2 Nexuses, 4 units, 4 Nexuses, any sort of combination in that thing just to be able to play this dude. So he's just okay. I want to see where this goes on further down the road, and maybe it'll get better. But right now he's just okay. I can see him in a Machine Beast deck. But just on his own, he's just fine. Moving into uncommons. At 2 difficulty, we have Head Snow Librarian Saga, 1 reduction cost. Level 1, she's a 1k for 1 core. Level 2, she's 2k for 2 cores. Level 3, she's 3k for 4 cores. She has a skill that triggers on all 3 levels of when the spirit attacks or blocks. You can place a core from your trash to your reserve. If you place a soul core into your reserve with this effect, the spirit gains 3k during this turn. So this is how we get our soul core out of the trash during either our attack step or during the opponent's attack step, which can come super handy to be able to play more cores. Just depending on how you use her, she just lets you get cores back really easily and then recycle the soul core continuously while becoming a pretty decent blocker or attacker. She's a 4k, 5k, 6k attacker blocker when we use her skill. She's pretty decent. She's an ice princess. Ice princesses are very dangerous and will only grow in power as the game goes forward. She may be more suited to them than us, but splashing her is definitely an option. She's a decent 1k, 1 difficulty unit once reduction's met, so I would use it. And again, like I said, we get to recycle out of the trash back into the reserve, meaning we can play magics easier when while she's involved. So decent card. Gun Knight Heavy Barrel, 4 difficulty, 2 reduction. At level 1, he's a 3k for 1 core. At level 2, 5k for 3 core. When destroyed by an opponent, select one of your opponent's spirits with a 1 summon effect and return it to the bottom of their deck. So this dude lives to block and die. This dude is a kamikaze unit. Pardon. So we just play him 2 cost, 3k. We don't even need to win the battle with this dude. He's just when destroyed by opponent. So when destroyed by effects, when destroyed by battle power loss, destruction, when we suicide into him for a block, we can select an opponent's big unit monster that has a when a summon effect that's not even attacking or blocking, because we can just suicide into somebody. That's not an issue. We leave them at level 1. We don't even worry about the level 2 battle power. We're not looking to make an effective block. What we're looking to do with this dude is get him killed so we can take one of their big monsters, which has a when summon effect, and pop it to the bottom of their deck. We want them to waste those cores as quickly as possible. This dude lets us do it. Next up, we have Buster Fenrir Cannon, 5 difficulty, 2 reduction. Level 1, he's a 3k for 1 core. Level 2, he's 5k for 3 core. Level 3, he's 8k for 5 core. At level 2 and level 3, he has When this spirit blocks, return all of your opponent's spirits with a cost of 2 or fewer to their hand. So, just for swinging, if they're trying to run Weenie Rush, you slap this guy down, uh, block an attack with it, all their spirits go back to their hands. Like, just everything with a cost of 2 or lower. All their spam using for reduction just goes right back to their hand, and then all you got to do is deal with their big units. This dude's amazing. I love him so much. The fact that he just like sweeps the board of all their units and pops them back to their hand makes him so worth it. I would honestly spend the 6 cores it takes to get this guy at level 2. I'm not so sure without a core engine or something. I want to get him at level 5, but I would definitely see myself spending 6 cores to get this guy out on the field at level 2 immediately. That way I can start controlling the board a bit better. So definitely good card. Bizarrely named Snowflakin'. 3 difficulty, 2 reduction. At level 1, he's a 2K for 1 core. At level 2, he's a 6K for 4 core. At level 1 and level 2, he's got red armor. And at level 2, when the spirit blocks, select one of your opponent spirits with either confront or curse and return to their hand. So we got to spend 6 cores to get this guy at optimum ability. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know how often we're going to be running against confront or curse. I mean, purple's got a fair amount of curse. I don't know what units have confront yet. He only guards against red. So this may be a sideboard card because you gotta, again, spend 6 cores to get this guy an optimal effect. He's not even a mecha or armor beast. He's an armored dragon, which we'll probably get a little bit more down the road. So he may become more useful then, but he may just be a sideboard card because he's looking for very specific things to do. His secondary ability is only super good if we're going against a deck that runs heavy confront or heavy curse. So again, this may be better as a sideboard. Moving into the rares, we have Fortress God Knight Odin Type X. Or Type 10 or Type Cross. It's really hard to tell with Japan sometimes. 5 difficulty, 3 reduction. At level 1, he's a 3K for 1 core. At level 2, he's 5K for 3 cores. At level 3, he's 7K for 5 cores. He has an ability on level 1, 2, and 3 that says, during the opponent's attack step, if you control White Nexus, refresh this dude at the start of the attack step. That's really good. At level 2 and level 3, he has when he blocks or attacks, we can send a 3 or an opponent spirit with a cost of 3 or more back to the hand. So, he seems his sweet spot. We want to get him at a 5K. We want to get him at his level 2. We don't want to overcommit on his level 3. It looks like the most optimal state level to leave him at is just level 2. Again, he's a mecha, so we have other options to boost his battle power. So if we get our full reduction, for 5 cores, we get all of his abilities. He gets to swing, use his bottom skill, pop a 3 back to their hand, and then at the opponent's attack step, we can refresh him. So long as we control White Nexus, that won't be hard. Then we can refresh the spirit at the start of that attack step and use him as a blocker, triggering his bottom skill a second time. Really good. I want to say he's max or maybe at a 3 of, depending on what your build will be for mecha. I'm going to test him out at a 4 of and see if he clogs the hand too much at 4, or if I just need to leave him at a 3, but I definitely am putting him in my mecha deck. Moving on, we have Skylord Dragon Platinum, 6 difficulty, 3 reduction. Level 1, he's a 5K for 1 core. Level 2, 7K for 2 core. Level 3, 9K for 4 core. He also has an ability at levels 1, 2, and 3 that when summoned, return all spirits worth 3,000 battle power or fewer to their owner's hands. So He's a bit of a double-edged sword because it's all spirits. So that means your spirits too. So if they wipe your board via a Weenie Rush or have a lot of spam units to help with reduction, and you're low on board yourself, he is a fantastic card to play. Again, maybe level 2 is the best one to set him at because he's 7K, so that hits pretty decently. If we hit reduction, which is not hard, we're committing at least 5 cores to this unit. 3 for his difficulty, 2 to put him at level 7 or level 2. Excuse me. When he comes into play, we bounce everything that's a level 1 back to the opponent's hand, including our own stuff. So again, we want to play him only if we have a minimal board presence and or they have a higher reduction spirit reduction presence. I want to say I'd run him at a 2 of, just for that. Oh hey, let's bounce everything back and force them to have all those cards put back into their hand. He's decent. I like him, but I want to run him maybe only as a 2 of just as a precautionary measure. I don't want to be spamming him out because, that reduces our board as well. Moving on, we have Pegasione. I'm going to guess that's Pegasi 1. I am unsure how to pronounce that name. 3 difficulty, 1 reduction. At level 1, he's a 2K for 1 core. Level 2, he's 4K for 2 core. Level 3, he is 7K for 5 core. At level 1, 2, and 3, he has red and purple armor. Again, I stress maybe this may be unit where level 2 is his best sweet spot. At level 2 and level 3, during your opponent's attack step, if this has a spirit core on it, it can block opponent spirits with a cost of 2, or excuse me. It can block your opponent's spirits with 2 or fewer cores on them, even if exhausted. So, if they're running anything with only 2 or fewer cores on it, they're sitting at level 1 or level 2, this can block. This can continuously block. This is a very good card. It has red and purple. The one drawback on this is this has to have the soul core. So you got to be very careful on what your plays are like and where your soul core is sitting at the time, because you need to be able to continuously make him the effective blocker. He's got to have that soul core. So you got to manage that core optimally, which is one of the hardest things to do in white, because a lot of white stuff, as we go further in, is going to need that soul core for that extra ability. He needs it. We haven't looked at too much stuff in the set that says specifically, hey, I need the soul core. So he can be your optimal target for it at the time. But as things go, as we move forward, more and more is going to need that soul core. We still have decent battle power at 4K, even at level 2. We're only going to be committing at least 4 cores to get all of his abilities online. If we do want to get him to level 3 to be that 7K, we're going to have to commit 7 cores. 2 for the cost, 5 for the core level. I'm unsure for you how often I want to commit to that, but I definitely can see myself easily committing 4 cores to get this online. Moving on. I think we've covered him before, but he still is very, very good. This is Mecha Beast Fortress Newmangard. 8 difficulty, 4 reduction. He at level 1, he's 7K for 1 core. At level 2, he's 10K for 4 core. When destroyed by an opponent, draw 3 cards and place 3 cards from the void on into your reserve. His level 2 ability, perform a refresh step after your attack step. This may only be played once per turn. Being able to do this, and we can get the reduction really, really easily via Newmangard Metropolis, the Nexus, because it helps set stuff up for us easily. So him coming in at a 4 difficulty is almost no problem. I definitely would commit to 8 cores on this guy around mid-game because he is nuts. They don't really want to kill him because that gives us 3 cards and 3 cores, so they're giving us like free resources by destroying him, being able to perform a refresh step right after your attack step, meaning everything readies, is just amazing. He is so good. I really wonder why he's not an X-Rare, in all honesty. I think he was in Japan. Pardon. Moving on, we have Android Mist, Valkyrie Mist, who's an android. For difficulty 3 reduction, she is level 1. At level 1, she's a 1k for 1 core. At level 2, she is 3k for 3 cores. And at level 1 and level 2, when summoned, select one of your opponent's spirits that cost 7 or fewer and return them to hand. So she is a sideboard card. Or at the very least, I would run 1 or 2 of her in main board, and then depending how much they play super large units, we could sideboard more of her in. She's only 1 difficulty in the grand scheme of things with reduction, and you only need to get her to level 1 to trigger her ability. And she's an on summon, so she'll just come in, bounce whatever their big thing, making them waste all those cores, forcing them to resummon that unit back out. Yeah, I can see her being used as a 1 or 2 of, but most definitely she is a sideboard card. To see that way you can fill out the deck on the first match or win the first match, and then notice, oh hey, he's playing a lot of big unit, heavy costed units. Okay, let's pop something back to hand. I dig her. I really do. Moving into our X-Rares. These are the big bosses. Dual Gun Mech Lord Dermdyna. 7 difficulty, 4 reduction cost. At level 1, 6k for 1 core. Level 2, 8k for 3 cores. Level 3, 10k for 5 cores. At level 1, 2, and 3, when he attacks, you can pay the Spirit Soul Core. Again, like the Pegasus I said earlier, we got to be strategic with that Soul Core. To select one of your white spirits for each Nexus either player controls. That selected spirit cannot be blocked during this turn. That's your kill. That is how you achieve kill with this dude. We get him into play, we swing, we pay the Soul Core. This looks at both Nexuses. So if we are Nexus heavy and they are Nexus heavy, they're done. They are done. They cannot block it. They cannot swing. All they can do is use flash timing magic cards with destruction and spells, or drain off cores or battle power. That's the only thing they can do. This is how you kill in the mecha deck, or with him as your X-Spirit, with him as your boss. He also has a secondary skill of either level 2 or level 3 during either attack step. When the spirit would be destroyed by your opponent's effects, you may pay a core to keep it on the field. So this is the only time where I would definitely pay a core. 8 cores. Get him at level 3. Let him sit there, and anytime he would die, pop a core, bring him down a level. That's fine. He hits well above numbers, as he should because he's an X-Rare. But this dude's primary skill is how you kill in that deck. We only got to harass a little bit in the opening game, maybe take off a life or 2, and then swing, and then make the whole board unblockable. That's it. Next X-Rare, we have Armored Dragon Ship Enterprise. 8 difficulty, 4 reduction. At level 1, 6k for 1 core. Level 2, 9k for 2 core. Level 3, 12k for 4 core. At level 1, 2, and 3, he has armor against red, purple, white. He has a level 2, level 3 skill that says when the spirit blocks, refresh this unit once per turn. And then a level 3 ability that says all your spirits gain armor, purple, white, red. So we got to still dump 8 core on him to get max value out of this dude. If we do, we are guarded against everything but yellow. Yellow seems to be the least guarded armor in the game at the moment, at least for white. It can't be affected. It gets to refresh. We hit well above numbers. Our level 1 battle power is easily a level 2 to level 3 battle power, depending on some spirits. We hit well above average on this one. Some people are already saying that this is a little slow to get out. I tend to agree because we don't have anything that reduces um, fast enough for him because he's an armor dragon. He's not a machine beast. But going forward, we may see better armor dragon cards that will make him much more usable. Moving on, we got Dinosaur Harrier Turbo Rex, 6 difficulty, 3 reduction cost. He has Ascend, so we also got to siphon all cores from a spirit with a cost of 3 or more as an additional cost to summon him. So place all the cores on him. So the way I look at it, we are going to. It's very easy to get him out of the 3 because he's a machine beast. We have ways of getting the reduction cost to where that's no problem. We get some of our generic units and suck up all the cores, put it onto him. So all those cores go into the reserve, which will then in turn go back onto him. So at level 1, he's a 5k for 1 core. At level 2, he's an 8k for 3 cores. At level 3, he's 9k for 4 cores. He has, on top of Ascend, he has a level 1, 2, and 3 skill during your opponent's attack step. You may select one of your opponent's spirits at the start of that step. If possible, that spirit must attack first this attack step. So this is very good because that screws with your opponent's attack sequence. This could force a unit with a key skill to go forward and suicide into something. And at level 2 and level 3, he goes, when this spirit attacks, select one of your opponent's spirits that does not have Ascent and return to the hand. Unless they're X rare and I need to go back and double check the set, not a lot of stuff has Ascent. So this dude just immediately bounces problems back to the opponent's hand. This dude is nuts. For me, this is my X rare partner right now. I'll say it now. Turbo Rex is my X rare partner. I'm going to have so much fun with him. He is going to be my dude. I'm really looking forward to playing this. I cannot wait to start abusing this dude. Yeah, the Ascend hurts a little because we got to pay 3, then we got to sack a unit with 3 that costs 3 or more. But all of his cores go right back to reserve, so it's not like they go to the trash. So that does give us some recycling to be able to dump right on him. Not too bad. Moving in, we now are looking at the Nexuses. So this is Force of Steel Leaves, forecasting cost 2 reduction. To get to level 1, no cores. Level 2, we need just 1 core on it. Level 1 and level 2, if you have a burst card set, your white Nexuses cannot be the target of your opponent's red spirits or magic. So if we have a burst set, we technically, our Nexuses have armor against red. At level 2, its own level 2 skill of when one of your spirits is destroyed by your opponent, select one of their Nexuses and return it to their hand. So this is good. This is a very good card. That's good Nexus control for 1 core. They got to think about how they want to destroy our spirits because then we get to just return Nexus back to their hands. Yeah, I mean, they get to replay it the next turn, but this is a continuous thing. And the more of this we get out, it just continuously procs over and over and over again. So, oh, you blow up one of my spirits. Okay, that's 2 Nexuses back to your hand. It's very dangerous the more we can get this out. We talked about this before. This is Fortress Metropolis, Newmont City. 4 difficulty, 2 reduction cost. No cores to get to level 1, 2 cores to get to level 2. Level 1 and level 2 during your main step. When you summon a Machine Beast card that costs 6 or more, count the symbols on this Nexus as 3 reduction. So my buddy Turbo Rex, all we got to do is play this dude, play Turbo Rex. Oh, hey, Newman City has 3 white symbols, meaning the reduction is immediately met. Also, level 2 skill for 2 cores, During your opponent's turn, all my spirits get plus 1,000 battle power. That is very important. You need to be able to offset their math and screw with their math quite a bit, especially with yellow. This helps defend against yellow because if yellow plays magic, it's like, oh, I got to play something that reduces him by 5. I got a spell that reduces him by 5,000 BP. Well, 6,000 BP now. So that screws with them. So meaning they got to waste more resources to get at you guys. This is another very good Nexus. Honest to God, guys, I think white has a lot of very solid white Nexuses. We will keep going. This is Infinity Mothership, 5 difficulty, 2 reduction. No courts for level 1, 2 courts for level 2. Level 1, level 2 during your opponent's attack step. At the start of this step, place all courts from your trash in your reserve. That's amazing. This is how we are able to play our magic so much easier. Anything goes to the trash from spending it on defending on our turn, like we pay stuff out of the reserve to play magic, all that goes right back in so we can keep doing it. That way we can play a burst and play the flash timing on that burst. That's how we get the chords to do it. Also, level 2 during your chord step, if you control a mecha spirit, very easy for us to do because our spam units are mecha. We gain 2 chords during the chord step instead of 1. That is incredible. That is insane chord celebration. Being able to just proc 2 chords every chord step is insane. Yeah, I'll definitely set 5 chords aside. Play this, like get this out. I want to get this out as soon as possible. Get this online. Leave my machine gunner just sitting there, and then proc 2 chords every chord step. Okay, like super good card. Next up is Rocket City. Rocket City is 3 difficulty, 1 reduction. No courts for level 1, 2 courts for level 2. Level 1 and level 2, during your opponent's attack step, when one of your spirits blocks, it gains 1,000 BP. Again, I talked about it's okay to set our spirits at level 2 because we get battle power bonuses very easily in this deck. Also, during its level 2, when your opponent draws outside their draw step, they must discard a card. Guys, this is stackable. The more of this you have out, the more they hurt themselves. So if you have 2 Rocket Cities out, they draw a card, they got to discard 2. If you have 3 of this out somehow, oh, I draw a card, you got to discard 3 cards now. You just obliterate their hand. Just having 2 of these out is devastating to the opponent because it just chews through their hand, takes away their options, takes away their resources. It just hurts them so badly. It's such a good Nexus. Moving into Magics. We're almost finished. This is Suppression. 4 casting cost, 2 reduction cost. This has a main and a flash timing ability of select 1 spirit, gains 3,000 BP during this turn if you spend a soul core. As part of this card's casting cost, the spirit can block while exhausted during this turn. Okay, so this is super good. So this means we get 3,000 BP. Again, this is a strategic move because we got to spend that soul core. But we can continuously block even while exhausted with this turn. So we get a high power 10k rare or X rare and let it block. We let it block all day long. Just let it chew through their units. This is a pretty decent card. It's not badly costed because at 2 reduction, we're only paying it for 2, which is decent. Very easy to get through, very easy to obtain, not hard. This is Dream Blizzard. 4 difficulty, 2 reduction cost. The main skill is tricky because its main return all Nexuses to internet, yours and mine. So if things are going super bad, this is, and they are very Nexus dependent, and you don't have too many out, play it. You can spend resources later on to get your Nexuses back out, but this will damage them indefinitely because they got to spend all their resources to get all the Nexuses they worked out to get out there. Its flash timing skill is select one spirit against 3000 BP till the end turn. That's fine. The main skill to look at is the first one and how you want to do it. How Nexus heavy is their deck? This is probably a sideboard card because you got to see how heavy is their Nexus and how heavily do they depend on their Nexuses. This card, I want to say, will get more and more important as the game goes on because we get other mechanics where Nexus can become monsters and they don't meet the resource conditions. We can play this and bounce them back to hand, but right now we're only on set one. So that's just pure conjecture on my part. But like right now, this is a decent card, a sideboard card. You want to scout to see how Nexus dependent the deck is. Next up, Regain. 4 difficulty, 3 reduction. Both main and flash timing for this one. Select one of your spirits that is not currently attacking and refresh it. So this can be used offensively or defensively. So we can flash timing while we're attacking with another spirit. Stand in that spirit we are not attacking with and go. Or select one of your spirits that's not currently attacking and refresh it. So we're blocking, we're not attacking. The spirit we choose is not currently attacking. It's blocking, or it has already blocked. We can use it and refresh the spirit. This is a staple card in a deck. I will definitely be running this. It only costs 1 core to play it if we get our reduction online, which we can very easily. This is an amazing magic card. Definitely well worth the time of putting it in the deck. Counter Sword. 5 difficulty, 3 reduction cost, burst. When your opponent resolves a spirit's when summon effect, select one of your opponent's spirits, return to the top of the deck. You may then pay to play its main effect, which is put a core from the void into your life. So this is pretty decent. So as a burst, we just got to let them do their summoning effect. It's got to resolve, which is kind of the pain in the butt because that means, hey, we're going to lose something. Or something's going to go on that's going to benefit them. But if they do something that's like, oh, hey, dump all your cores onto this unit via this effect. Okay, burst, pop the thing that you pumped up back to the hand. Meaning they got to waste resources to put it back out. And that effect kind of fizzled. This one's a bit more detrimental, though, because that burst does say it has to resolve the one summon effect. The main effect is pretty decent. It's life gain. Life gain is always good. We can just like for two cores we can gain a life. This is decent. This is the burst is always good. It just depends on how we use it because again we have to let the effect resolve. So maybe. Okay, let's talk about this. We got burst wall. This is absolute ice shield. If you ever played Battle Spirits, we all know what this is. This is one of the most important cards in the game. 4 difficulty, 1 reduction, 3 casting cost. That's fine. Burst when you lose a life, place a core from your reserve into your life. Then we can pay the cost, activate its flash effect. When this ends, when this battle ends, and the attack step. So it's burst wall. I don't think I have to go too much in it. For you new players, again, this is one of the most important cards in the set. This gets reprinted all the time in Japan. Hopefully they will be very nice to us and reprint this often in America too when this starts coming out. I'm already seeing a lot of people on Twitter, in the Facebook groups that are new to this game, saying how insane this is, how this needs to be limited to 1, how this needs to be nerfed. No, in the 15 years, I want to say Battle Spirits has been going, I don't ever think this has been limited to my knowledge. This has only been reprinted and made more available. I hope that's the case. Again, I want to reiterate, I really hope this is the case in America too. This card is insane. This card is a staple in every deck, regardless if you're running white or not. This is a must-have card. This is like one of the most important cards you can have in Battle Spirits, is this card. This saves you. This gets you out of so many problems. This lets you live to your next turn. Like, I can't stress the importance of this card. And guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I can't wait to get these cards. I love white so much. I can't wait to get more mechs. I can't wait to get more armored beasts. There's so many other things I want to play as white as it comes down the road. Hopefully, I'll get my wish. I love, love, love. I cannot wait to play this. I will be on Tabletop Simulator learning how to play this game, learning what I need to be playing optimally in white. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. And, take it for life.